Day 12 of your astrological advent calendar. I'm Lindsay, and I did not expect to be coming to you from an entirely different location today. Yesterday I said 12:12, who knows what tomorrow will bring? What? Yesterday, my mom and my aunt, they planned this overnight trip, spontaneous, and I've been so deep in our advent calendar and planning all this content for you, and also a side project that I'm really, really excited about telling you about later. But I was like, no, I can't just leave everything. And then something came over me, and I think it's all these mutable signs being lit up in Sag and Pisces, and just, coming to these points where I'm like, why am I limiting myself? Why am I saying no? I want to say yes more in my life. I want to be open to experience and not apply all these limits on myself that, there's opportunities and there's options and things that we can do to break free. And that's another benefit of being close friends with astrology is I really knew that this was a good time. The time was ripe to break free, to stretch my limitations, to push myself a little bit more into discomfort so that I have an exchange for wisdom and growth. And that's what this time is ripe for. So going back in time, the Getty Villa is where we were yesterday. And if you don't know what it is, it's one of the only museums in the United States that's totally devoted to the art and early culture and materials, like things that antiquities of the ancient Mediterranean world. The creator, J. Paul Getty, he wanted a full-scale recreation of the Villa di Papyri or Papyri in Herculaneum. It's one of the places that got buried in the Mount Vesuvius eruption of 79 AD. And what he had this vision of is the architecture, the gardens, the fountains, the plants, the courtyards, everything to a T recreated. There's no other place in the world that I know of that's like this. If you want to see what an actual, really, really big mansion looked like in ancient Roman times, this is it. So it's an immersive environment where you see how things actually were. And then it's right on the beach in Malibu, like it's above the beach in Malibu, Palisades. And they also designed it aligning with the ancient tradition of cardinal directions, and how the whole place was set up for the light to come in a certain way. So when I said yes, I thought back to the last time that I was here, and I was like, this was a while ago. And then I put two and two and two and two, whatever, together, and realized it was exactly 12 years ago. It was December 2013. And I was like, oh my God. Here I am in a place I was exactly 12 years ago. And in astrology, we move in 12-year cycles. One of the techniques, the Hellenistic techniques I love, is annual perfections, because it shows us what house is online for the year and the themes and the topics. It's so accurate. And holy crap, here I am. The theme is not only repeating, I am literally in the same place I was 12 years ago. Same time of year, completely different version of me. And I'm looking back at my life like it's an antiquity too. Like I was walking those halls with my little kids and they were bored to death. And I was with people that could really care less, honestly, about the history and about the antiquities. And I cared. And when you go somewhere with people that don't really have that same value, it changes the experience. So I was a rewriting of my time there 12 years ago. And wow, what a difference. J. Paul Getty had this vision, he had this dream, he had this desire to build a replica, exact replica of the Villa de Papyri. But he died in 1976 and he never saw it come to light because it was 2006 before it was in this current state. But the other thing about him is that he's a complex person. He has a lot of story that's not very comfortable. And antiquities themselves have many levels of discomfort. And it's like, why are they here? Why aren't they there? And what did you do to get these things, right? Where's the money from for all this stuff? So there's some examples here of exploring a reality behind the surface that may not be that comfortable, for feeling out different stories of suffering and pain and not just looking at the result. You may remember in January of 2025 in Palisades in Malibu, it was a huge fire, very, very strange fire. And it's crazy to be here and see what the devastation still is, how slow it has been to build back these houses. this was the biggest insurance payout of all time. It was $45 billion, but the loss of property, the property and the value of it it's kind of astronomical. It's 130 billion. So just think about those numbers. There's no way that they can rebuild back. And on top of that, the modern regulations aren't allowing these people. So we were driving along the street and you see the view of the ocean. It's like, wow, this is beautiful. And up until January 2025, you could not see the ocean driving on the PCH. It was just blocked by all these houses. And all you see now are these pylons. They're the remnants, like the antiquity of what used to be there. They cannot rebuild back the way they're all for sale, these pieces of land. And when you see actually what it is, it's just some rocks. I mean, imagine losing your home. The value of it is never going to be replaced, first of all. And then the literal value is never going to be replaced. That's just a devastation, right? What's behind all that? There has to be a bigger picture, and the details are not adding up. Where's the meaning? Where's the meaning? That's like Mercury on a spinny wheel in Sag. It's kind of like, does not compute. And then last night I heard this firsthand story that is so heartbreaking. It makes me have goosebumps just thinking about it. And it's confirmation of something I can barely comprehend as reality, but it is real. It is real. It's so hard to accept that that's a reality, but that's what's required. So there's an overwhelm, there's a spiritual dissonance, there's cognitive dissonance, of course, as well in that, trying to comprehend what's behind the corruption, what's behind the loss, what's behind the bureaucracy that's slowing and stopping, who started these things, why did they do that, and worst of all, the true spiritual devastation that some even worse situations present, and we're facing something, the fact that a real deep evil actually exists. And it's something I never would have imagined because I've lived a beautiful, sheltered life, honestly. And being open to these energies is part of Mercury and Sag too. It's like, okay, you want to see? I want to see the truth. Are you ready? You can't handle the truth. Can you handle the truth? I never imagined some of these things to be true, but they are. And they're real. So what do we do when we feel this way, when we have these Mercury and Sag overwhelm moments? The answer is I don't know. I don't know really. I have a few directions that my arrow is pointing that I'm going to try. So I'll share those, and that's the best that I have. Number one, I'm focusing on deep empathy as much as possible and respect, honestly, for people who have had lives and experience that are vastly more complicated than I have been exposed to in my life. I'm honoring that facing some truths will require more discomfort than I want to have, and that anybody really wants to have, requires it. I'm looking towards the highest possible light that I can find, and the answers are not going to be easy, they're not going to be quick. This is just another example of Mercury in detriment in Sagittarius. This is why. I just want this quick answer. And most of all, I am working so hard on surrendering to something infinitely more wise than myself. The plan is so big, and my little human comprehension is so minimal, honestly, compared to what it requires, that I can just do my best to surrender and try to understand the broader meanings with an open mind, whenever possible, an open heart, while also protecting it, because we can't feel everything all the time. We can't fix everything all the time. But if we can still see a glimmer of light in the darkness on the horizon of difficulty, we might be seeing a star. We might be seeing another galaxy. It's not just a speck of light. It could be everything. Day 12. Let's see if I get some wisdom or help with this energy that I'm feeling that's very deep and heavy and also important. Holy moly. Oh my gosh. This might be my favorite one yet. What in the world is this? It's so beautiful. How am I getting emotional over these crystals? I don't know. It's so pretty. It's citrine. It's like this clear yellowish. I don't know. It's really beautiful. All of them have this little spot for your finger too, because it's for little kids. And this little finger spot is just so adorable. Okay, it says citrine. I do not have my glasses, so forgive me. So small, so little. Citrine, abundance, joy, creative energy, ideal for attracting success and confidence. I wore my this lipstick. My aunt gave this to me yesterday. It's Malibu Barbie pink, and here we are. I got my optimistic hat, I've got my optimistic heart, and I have you. So thank you so much, Citrine, for today. Once again, I like you just the way you are. Thank you for being part of this Advent calendar with me, and I look forward to the next, what is it, 12 more days? 12 more days? 12 days of Christmas? 12, 12, 12, all over the place, these 12s. Okay, I'll talk to you soon.